And we would expect that project to start sometime very early in the spring and go pretty quickly, because I know Peter Baker's got a lot of these projects. He'll be interested in getting through them.
Any approval process?
Not now, no. I'll bring what the next thing I'll bring will be a resolution for the board to pass appropriating those MFT funds.
Anything else?
No.
All right, Russ, is that a builders convention? Village attorney report.
We've got enough in there. MFT fund.
Yeah, well, I have to close out this year's project. It'll be taking
I
about
was looking
300,000.
About what?
About 300,000. I'm sorry, it'll be about 220.
There's 7 here now.
So we got plenty.
I got the wrong address. The sheriff gave me 2 agendas, one for February.
Better early than late.
He's got it. Oh, treasurer's report.
Okay. The MFT fund does have 700,000 in there. We can do the road. Overall fund changes in the past month are very, very negligible. The balance of 15 million is made up. We have about half of that is sitting in our HIP-TIP fund, earning 0.121%. Fortunately, we have other funds spread out as follows. In the CDARS program, we're almost up to 2 million now, and the yield there is ranging from 1.7 on the newer funds to 2% on a medium range and 4% that's going to come due in October of this year. We have a CD at Northside Community at 2.25. The Wells Fargo funds, formerly Wachovia, there's a total there now of about 3.7 million, earning between 3.8% and 4%. We have about $500,000 at Howe Barnes, which is, we switched to Ameriprise. That's almost all liquid now. So the current rates that I was quoted earlier in the week on that could be in the range of 2 to 2.6% on new money there. I've got a smattering of accounts, mostly operating accounts, and some of the SSA funds, about 1.1 million, spread between Northside Community and National City. National City is the only one I haven't evaluated in the past few months, so I'll take a look at that to see what their rates are there. As far as available funds, of the 15 million, about 1.1 is actually allocated to the SSAs, so that leaves us about 14 million of available funds.
Very much.
Thank you, Mayor. I had handed out some information to everyone prior to the meeting. Well, I noticed that I've got something in new business,
Sure.
but I have one piece of old business.
Okay.
The one piece of old business, and I don't remember which meeting it was, but we had some discussions about prescribed burns and that sort of thing. And at the time, it was my understanding that we probably would need to go through the ordinance process and what they know. And after further discussions with Bruce, it turns out that the existing ordinance we have would provide the mechanisms that we need to do this. So I just wanted to refresh your memories. I handed out this listing of what I thought we would require from contractors, because we're going to pre-qualify these people and that sort of thing. It was not like they needed a license, but it was pretty rigorous. And then what I had in my notes, there was one change that was under, from our conversations, I'd added under 3 submittals, the last line and the next to the last bullet point, basically the references that they would notify, people would be notified within 1,000 feet of the where the burning is taking place. So we wanted to clarify that to say within 1,000 feet, residents would be notified within 1,000 feet of the property lines of the property where the prescribed burn would be taken. So I just wanted to get that back on the table and suggest that I'd like to see that go forward, and we could press on. We have one application still pending for this process, and if everybody prefers to move ahead, we can do that. So just wanted to bring that back up, and the other items we'll talk about later in the agenda.
Chuck?
Russ is not here.
an error. The year-to-year comparison is actually, the numbers are correct, the years are wrong. It's 2010 and 2009, not 2009 and 2008. Basically, in 2009 is when I started the format of reporting that I'm currently using now, giving you a few more details. So now I have something to compare it to. So the first column, I'm just going to go over the 2010 part of it. You can see
The first one,
2009.
2009, the second one, 2010.
The first column where it says 2009, that's 2010. The second column where it says 2008, that's actually 2010.
Okay.
All right, so in 2009, I'm just going to go down the activity that we've had in 2009 since the last meeting on January 5th. And during that time, we've had 1 battery, 15 accidents, 5 alarms, 3 animal complaints. We've assisted the fire department 10 times. We've been on 6 disabled autos. We've done 1 fingerprinting of a person for license purposes, a local resident. We've handled 4 vehicle or residential lockouts. We've had 1 missing person who was found pretty quickly. We've had 10 suspicious circumstances. We made 5 case reports. We've given out 5 crime prevention notices. We made 65 traffic stops and issued 57 citations to 51 persons. We're currently watching 15 houses for people who are out of town.
Thank you. We have 14 calls for the first half of the month, 5 fire calls, 1 car accident, and 8 requests for paramedics. That's all I have today.
Pardon?
Tell them what you're planning on for next meeting.
Well, I was hoping to speak to you after because Russ had sent me a message that I didn't need to speak next meeting.
Okay.
He said just to submit the recommendation for the ordinance and that he would work on that without my having to speak to the board. I'll be glad to address the board if you'd like me to.
Very good. What?
Okay. Okay, well, then in that case, next meeting I'll be addressing you about residential sprinklers and our request as a fire district to ask you to consider adopting an ordinance requiring all new construction to have residential sprinklers. But I'll be glad to present more information next time. I wasn't really prepared to speak tonight.
No, we're not asking you to change as much as it.
Just wanted
Give
to
a
know
heads up.
that's going to happen.
Okay. Village Attorney, thank you. Village Attorney report.
I've been working with our village clerk on updating some of our disclosure materials to comply with the new Freedom of Information Act changes. That's kept us pretty busy coming up with some forms and lists of things that have to be made available, including some stuff that we'll add to the website. We also published notice, maybe this is why I got confused last time, we published notice for the next Plan Commission meeting in February for public hearings on text amendments to the zoning ordinance. One of the text amendments would provide for the overlay, transitional overlay business district, which we talked about as being a method of accommodating potentially the uses that those properties on Milwaukee Avenue, north of Deerfield Road, I'm talking about the Mall Center and Mr. Cantley's property, would be able to take advantage of were they to be annexed to the village. The other text amendment concerns how we would potentially zone the Estonian House, because that's one of the other properties that's petitioned for annexation. And the district that we're proposing that would accommodate the Estonian House is something we might call the business compatible district, which would allow single-family uses, but would also allow